Alright guys, here it is, the Witt Machine MB1 Clamp on muzzle brake. This is the one I said I was going to go ahead and give a shot to. It is a custom cut to your bore clamp on muzzle brake. Bit of an alternative to having to get your barrel cut and threaded. Again, safety. There's the bolt. It's not going to do anything without that. So instructions for measuring your barrel. This is the Howa 1500 Game King. It's got the Howa over mold. It's chambered in 308. Witt Machine's instructions are that you measure your outside of your barrel directly at the muzzle, and again 1.5 inches up. Take those measurements, you send them into them along with your chamber, and they custom cut you a brake. This one here is stamped there. Mine measured just over 1/2 inch, 0.566 by 580 at 1.5 inches up. Stamped into each brake, just so I guess you know if you have to resell it, whatever else. Finish on this is very clean. Some of the pictures on the website kind of made it look like it was a cast piece that was then machined, you know, for the ports, but it is 100% machined. Very nice finish. Side ports there are 5 on either side. 20 ports in the top to combat muzzle rise. It's finished very well, top and bottom. It secures with these 4 bolts and screws here on the side, which instructions say to clamp these down between 14 and 15 inch-pounds. So go ahead and make sure it's secure. Suggestions, well, they tell you installation instructions here. Clean the end of the barrel with a degreaser. Brake cleaner is what they suggest. Basically anything to get the oil and grandma and crap off the end of the barrel there. Clear and make sure there's no obstructions. 8 to 10 drops of blue Loctite. They list that as a lubricant. It will dry completely, suggest 30 minutes after installation to allow that to dry. They also suggest a drop of lubricant on each thread, each bolt there. So let's go ahead and get to that then. I'll go ahead and pull these out. So we can put that Loctite on each one. Now, I've heard lots of reviews, lots of comments from people talking about the clamp-on muzzle brakes, how reliable they are, whether or not they can be trusted. They like to become projectiles once in use. I'm hoping that's not the case with this one. Witt Machine, everything I can find online, has an extremely good reputation, and a lot of people really seem to like these brakes. Another thing I read about was, you know, the concern about whether or not your bore is concentric to the exterior of your barrel. I used my micrometer and measured it. It is concentric to the barrel. The bore itself measures 303 thousandths. The bore on the clamp, or on the brake, measures at 347 thousandths. So you're looking at about 20 thousandths clearance on either side there, so that's pretty reasonable. I'm not concerned with that. So go ahead and get to it. Cleaning the barrel with a brake cleaner and a rag. Just go ahead and wipe it on there. It's not going to hurt the finish at all. The bluing's pretty sturdy. And probably not the most scientific way, but I just took a smaller level that I have and put it on top of the turret cap there for the scope. The scope should have been leveled when it was installed, so that's fairly reasonable. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and put a drop on each of these screws. Just the blue Loctite. imagine it's going to take much at all. The idea is just so it doesn't back out. I'll put a bit in the barrel here. I think I cut my tip there a little large, so I'm going to be able to get drops per se out of it. I'll take and spread that around by hand. Try and just make sure it's not going to be an even coat, but spread it around as much as we can. Slide the brake back on here. And we'll get the bolts going. I don't think there's any necessary fashion in which these have to be done as far as front to back or in to out or anything of that sort. Just go ahead and get it on here, get it started. Don't have to worry about getting the Loctite from your fingers on the finish of the muzzle brake. It'll clean off with just a little more brake cleaner, or your degreaser, your hops, whatever you want to use as solvent. Now Witt does offer Cerakoting for these muzzle brakes. I think they charge something like 15 bucks to do it, and they had it in black FDE and Coyote tan. Decided just to go with the unfinished version, seeing as my rifle is OD green, and I'd intended probably just to go ahead and paint it or something to that fashion, but I like the way it looks. I'm going to leave it alone. So once again, my ultra scientific measurement here, making sure this is level. Yes, I'm sure some of you will give me crap about that. That's fine. So turn that to level. I'll just start at the front. As I said, Witt suggests a maximum of 14 to 15 inch-pounds torque to secure this. I don't have an inch-pound torque driver, but I have heard of using the short end on an Allen wrench as your only amount of leverage when torquing down turrets or the scope rings to get roughly 22 pounds, so I figure it's not going to be that far off. I would suggest 1/4 turn for each bolt at the max, just to try and get them as evenly tightened as possible. The inside of the brake has a couple of grooves here and there on it. I imagine that's just going to sort of grab onto your barrel there and help secure it. And that's going to pretty much get it. Clean off the residue of Loctite that accumulated. Brake as well, in case I happen to spill any on there. And there you have it. That's as easy as the installation is. 4 bolts, a little bit of time, and I think that looks pretty nice myself. It's a nice nice add-on. I'll get it up to the range here tomorrow or the next day if the weather cooperates, and we'll give it a try, see how I like it. Going hot? Yep.
Dead on. Dead center.